Hi, this is Michael Hoffmann, Senior Sales Engineer of MicroStrategy Germany, and in this video I want to talk about SAP BW and how to make queries against SAP BW much faster with the new version of MicroStrategy 10. We're looking at our configuration here at the moment. We are connected against an SAP BW database, and I connected to some info cubes and queries so far. And in MicroStrategy 10 we have a new capability called Dataset Selector. This means the selector doesn't work in memory, but the selector can also work directly against our dataset, and with this we are able to adjust the MDX statement against SAP BW so efficiently that we can leverage the power of SAP BW much easier than ever before. And this is what I would like to show you. I have created some reports based on my SAP BW queries and InfoCube so far. Some of them are just lookup tables that are used for the selectors later, and two of them are the data sets that I need for the grids. And what I would like to show you here is that one of these data sets, the data sets that I use for my grid later, is really slow. It's because it's a huge data set, and if I run this data set directly against SAP BW needs a long time to come up with all the data that is part of this data set. And now we switch to our web front end, and let's have a look at these data set. If I click here on my folder structure, and if I run this data set, sales performance, this data set takes really a long time. So this is an MDX statement that runs against SAP BW, and SAP BW takes a long time to answer this question. And I would like to interrupt this query here at the moment because this is not efficient. But as you will see, I will use the same data set now in our dashboard, but in combination with these new selector types called dataset-driven selectors. This means that this huge query is limited by these selectors. You can see three of them here in the dashboard directly, which leads to a very efficient and very performant MDX statement. You can see it takes just, let's say, 2 seconds, and the new query is fired against SAP BW. SAP BW comes back with a result, and the dashboard is updated immediately. So this means that the selectors you see here, they are not working in memory, as you know MicroStrategy does in a traditional way. In this situation, the selectors work directly against the MDX statements, that runs in SAP BW. And here you can see our updated MDX statement, and you can see the part of the MDX statement that is responsible for the filtering of the data in SAP BW. So in that way, MicroStrategy works like, let's say, Bex Explorer, and can work more efficient, much more efficient against SAP BW data stores. By the way, this new capability is not only available against SAP BW, it's a general feature that you can use against any data source. That means, for example, if you have an MPP vertical database with huge in-memory data store, you can leverage these data systems much more efficiently now in the future. So for example, if you work with Exadata, SAP HANA, Exasol, and so on and so on. This means the engine in the background, the data source, is doing all the work, and not MicroStrategy itself. You've seen so far the configuration of the new selector types, and at the end let's run again my dashboard and have a look at the great performance here against SAP BW. The SAP I'm using here in the background is really slow, so it's not a productive system, it's just a test environment, and it was my intention to use a very slow SAP system here to show you these great new capabilities in MicroStrategy 10.